with Lieutenant Colonel Quentin Miklos and Major John Koss at the controls. And I'll tell you, when they lit the candle, the crystal rattled. Woo. Dad, let's talk some football now. Let's talk about the level of talent we're going to see on the field tonight.
Couldn't get any better than tonight. We've got the two most dynamic players in all of college football ready to put their special mark on this title game. In Reggie Bush and Vince Young, we have one more chance to see something uniting and very, very exciting. Both these players will bring you to the edge of your sofa. Both these players are going to try to bring a title to their football team.
Without a posse, how do you stop them?
Well, that's the biggest problem, Keith, because you can have the perfect plan. You can have the perfect scheme. Be in position to tackle them. They will make you miss. The key, gang tackling, the only way to stop these two great ones.
What about those two old black clouds that hang around college football? Turnovers and the kicking game.
Well, Texas clearly has the edge in the kicking game, but in the turnover game, nobody is better than USC in getting the ball and giving to their great offense.
This football game has everything in it in the preamble. Can they live up to it, you think?
Well, you know, Keith, I see so many similarities between these two teams. I don't see how this game cannot be a great one. There are just too many great leaders on this field. There are just too many great players, and there are too many great coaches.
Well, the defensive guys getting a little tired of all this hype about the offense. Maybe they'll take over.
I doubt it. This is an offensive game, Keith. 50 points a game for both of them, over 500 yards in offense.
All right, now we're going to join referee David Whitvo, Big Ten officials, for the toss of the coin before this BCS title game.
Gentlemen, allow me to honor guests joining us for the coin toss. It's my pleasure to introduce the Tournament of Roses president, Libby Evans-Wright, and her husband, Dr. William Wright. The Tournament of Roses Grand Marshal, Justice Sandra Day O'Connor, and her husband, John O'Connor. Gentlemen, the Rose Bowl tradition that belongs to us. Understand? Justice O'Connor, please do the honors. Wonderful. Texas has won the toss.
We will defer to the second half.
Texas will defer to the second half. You receive. Which goal will you defend?
We will kick it that way.
Face that direction. Texas will receive at the north end.
Holly Rowe.
I'm here with Coach Mack Brown. Coach, what is the biggest barrier Texas must overcome tonight to beat USC?
Holly, I think the biggest thing is just keep playing. They've got such a great team. They've got such good players. They're going to make their plays, but we've got to keep playing whether up by 21 or down by 21.
What do you expect tonight? The defense has been overlooked, but what do you expect from your defensive players?
I think they're going to play their hearts out.
All right, let's go to the other sideline with Todd Harris, who's with Pete Carroll.
All right, thanks, Holly. Pete, what is the thought you want your players to leave the locker room with just moments ago?
We want to make sure that we come out here and play the game we're capable of playing. That means to play like we do, things like we do, play with, have a lot of fun doing it.
With so much time off, are your players ready to defend the crown?
These guys are ready to go. They're so ready. They've been ready for a long time. So with this kind of atmosphere, I don't know how you could expect for more. This is just an extraordinary opportunity. We're going to go for it.
Thanks, Pete. We'll talk to you at halftime.
And the famous old arena is packed. I mean packed. Just getting here today was an ultimate challenge. The sky is clear, the beauty of the sunset, the color of the game, the orange of Texas, and the varying colors that have come to the stadium, the Trojans on one end and Texas on the other end and the other side. And I want to tell you, there are a lot of Texans in this stadium tonight. Dan Fouts, we're looking at a game of speed versus speed.
But that definitely is going to be the key for both of these defenses tonight, Keith, because of the extraordinary talent on offense. But don't be surprised if you don't see the Trojans come out with a 3-man defensive line, 1 linebacker. They want to put 7 fast defensive backs on the field.
Texas will be in the white. And the Trojans are the home team. Reggie Bush coming out. He will be in the return position because Texas won the toss and the Longhorns chose to kick off. Greg Johnson will do the kicking and Reggie Bush will do the returning if they kick the ball to him. But my only expression at this point is we're going to play football. Yippee! I thought we'd never get here.
Interesting that Texas won the toss and elected to defer to the second half. Interesting in the fact that they have that much confidence in their defense to hold down this man, Reggie Bush, and this SC offense.
Now it's put up time. They kick it to him. 2 yards, 3 yards deep in the end zone. He's coming. He gets to the 10, he gets to the 12, and down he goes, brought down by Robert Killebrew. And there are a lot of frontliners playing on both of these special teams, and the special team edge considered goes to Texas. Matt Leinart is the senior, 37-1 as a quarterback, and that should be enough to put him into the yearbook. He also has a Heisman Trophy from last season. He has 98 career touchdowns. He has all the plaques and trophies that he needs. What he wants tonight is his career best game. Wayne Jarrett, Steve Smith, and Chris McFoy are on the field. That's McFoy going in motion. And the first play of the ball game is Bush trying to bounce to the outside, and Texas was all over him. The backs and receivers for USC, Reggie Bush, as far as I'm concerned, just say wow. Wayne Jarrett, 81 receptions with 15 touchdowns. Steve Smith is also a big-timer in big games. Offensive line, I think this is a major strength of the team. Latouille, the only senior, tackle to tackle, they are a load. Lendale White checks into the ball game now, the big back. It is second down. Second down and 12. Leinart taking his time with it, drops straight back, throws quickly, gets the ball away to David Kirkman, the fullback, out of the backfield, and Kirkman will pick it up to about 7 yards on the play. Terrell Brown. Texas defense along the front. Roderick Wright's an All-American. His tackle pal, Frank Oakham, they're both 315. Linebackers Aaron Harris had a spectacular game last year against Michigan on this field. And the defensive secondary, this will be almost without question the best secondary that Matt Leinart and his teammates have looked at this season. It is third down and 7 now. Patrick Turner checks into the ball game. He's number 1. Leinart stays under center. Bush moves over. Leinart straight back, pressure coming, gets the pass away, threw it as Smith was turning, and Smith turned a little short, and the ball sailed over his head. Oakham was on to the Trojan quarterback in a hurry.
Keith, you talked about the speed. We saw it on special teams, and then 3 plays and out, and now the punting team comes out. USC, as you can see, 3rd worst in the entire country in net punt average, and this man, Aaron Ross, has already taken back 2 this season.
Tom Malone, however, is over a hip injury, and Malone can just kill it sometimes. Sometimes he outkicks the coverage. Texas will get good field position out of this one. The reception was made at about the 43. Fumble! Texas man let go. Trojans have it. The Trojans get the football. I mean, somebody leveled Ross, and then the ball squirted out. And USC covered it at the Texas 46-yard line.
Combination hit by Colin Ashton, 59, and then the big hit comes in by Scott Ware as he hits Ross right in the face. The ball has got no choice but to come loose, and then the Trojans dive down, and the first turnover of the game goes SC's way.
It goes to Mayaba, who covered the loose football, and now Southern California at the Texas 46. Well, there's the first break of the ball game. Turnovers. You can't predict them, and you can't prevent them, and sometimes you can't deal with them. But let's see what happens here. Leinert's got a double wide, top of the picture, steps up, throws short, goes to Smith. Smith inside the 40, down to about 37. And the tackle made by Cedric Griffin.
Well, the game plan for SC tonight is first downs are first. They got to move the chains, control the tempo of this ball game, and then defensively, Pete Carroll will create some chaos with speed. We talked about that three-man line with those 7 linebackers, but how about the speed on special teams? Kaluku Maeva, who was named Special Teams Player of the Year, is a true freshman for Pete Carroll.
2-back set, Bush deep. Smith this side, Jarrett at the top of the picture. And Bush gets it, bounces outside with it, runs over one Texan and gets it on down for a first down. He ran into Cedric Griffin, and Mr. Griffin meet Mr. Bush.
Well, everybody wants to compare Reggie Bush to so many different players. He's basically a combination of a lot of guys. This is Barry Sanders jumping to the outside right here, but as he finishes it off, this looks like Walter Payton to me. As he lowers his shoulder, drives Griffin back and picks up SC's first down on offense.
Just inside the 30-yard line.
And Vince Young can only stare and wait for his defense to get him the ball.
As long as he's on the sidelines, he can't beat him. Ball marked just inside the 30. Dominic Byrd and Fred Davis. It's a double tight end set with 2 wideouts up there. And Bush is your deep man. Kirkman comes back to help him. Leinert drops the throw, throws it down the sidelines. Kirkman! And he makes the catch at the Texas 6-yard line. The fullback making a tough catch and taking a wicked blow.
Great pass by Matt Leinert and an incredible catch by number 37. But this is his 20th catch so far this year, so he's no ordinary fullback. Not when you got hands and concentration and toughness like that.
That was a helmet-to-helmet hit. Griffin came over and laid his helmet right on his chin.
Yeah, this could have been called for that helmet-to-helmet contact right there. Was right under the chin. That's why the helmet popped off. But you got to wonder about Kurtman now. Remember, he's a fullback, does a lot of lead blocking for both Lendell White and Reggie Bush.
Looked like a foul, but there was no call. Ball is on the 6-yard line. It's first down and goal for the Southern California Trojans.
Boy, how big was that turnover? SC was going nowhere in their first 3 plays of the game, and that doesn't include the horrible kickoff return. They get the turnover, and right now they're knocking on the doorstep.
Kurtman's out of the ball game. Lendell White, the big guy, comes in at tailback. He's back by himself. Dominic Byrd is in an H-back position to help with the blocking. Leinert keeps it, pressure coming, runs away from it. Got to throw it. Nope, he's going to go out of bounds. And he is shoved out of bounds, and that gets a penalty flag. Killebrew was a little over-eager as the play went to the outside, and the flag is thrown.
Yeah, Killebrew must be colorblind because the burnt orange is about 12 feet wide, and look how far out onto the burnt orange Matt Leinert is when Killebrew hits him.
That'll be half the distance.
I was surprised Leinert just didn't throw that ball out of the back of the end zone to avoid that hit, but he did pick up extra yards with that penalty.
Well, the old adrenaline valves are wide open right now. Hard to control it.
Hardest thing for Vince Young right now is to control it as he sits on the bench.
Lendell White and Brandon Hancock will be in the backfield as the Trojans come back to the ball. It is resting on the 4-yard line, hash mark. They're going to run it with White, and Lendell walks in. Fred Matua and Brandon Hancock laid powerful blocks to open the door for Lendell White. And boy, has he rolled up some touchdowns this season.
21 on the ground coming in, that's 22, but when you look at his career, that is 55